You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
Well, this is Saturday, April the 20th, and you have entered Overtime, where we were finally given a modicum of weather and a reprieve today. And seeing how rare those have become this spring, the KHQA sports team did its level best to capitalize, seizing highlights from 9 different baseball and softball games and 1 high school track meet. Because let's face it, at this point, who knows when the next sunny day might materialize at this rate. Case in point, the West Hancock Titan baseball team, which got to take the field this afternoon for the first time since April the 6th. That's a 2-week diamond dormancy. And you know what? John Schultz's Pittsfield Saukeys were hoping to take advantage of that inactivity. In fact, they'd get the good start in this game after an early single by Dalton Butler. Austin Allen advances him all the way to third base. That would set the table for this. Mason Damon with the sacrifice fly. Great catch out in left field by Corey Dorothy, but that sacrifice fly puts Pittsfield up 1-0 at that point. Meanwhile, Marcus Longenecker looking to tie the game here. The Pittsfield defense, though, equal to the task, tagging out or at least stepping on the plate and getting Paxton Harmon before he could score. Meanwhile, Trevor Knipe, though, settling in nicely on the hill, would not allow anything more the rest of the game. How about the defense, though? Phenomenal right here by Josh Dean at second base to avert a West Hancock tying run. We're all tied up at 1 apiece at this point. The defense staying strong. This time it's West Hancock catcher Tucker Zank with a great snare behind the plate. Adam Church pitching effectively, trying to keep the Titans down, trying to keep that game tied up. We take you now to the top of the 7th inning. Coy Dorothy with a single right here, which he actually stretches into a double with some great base running. That sets the table for Marcus Longenecker, who was just ridiculous with the bat today. This hit is going to put West Hancock up at the bottom of the 7th, or at the top of the 7th inning. We're all tied up. We're going to extra innings at this point. Or actually, we're going to the bottom of the 8th, I should say, already in extra innings. And Pittsfield's going to try to make something happen right here. Austin Hardy on in relief, but Pittsfield loads the bases with 1 out. Hardy gets a big strikeout right here to kind of close the gap. And then Pittsfield goes back to work trying to win this ball game. Great piece of hitting, even better piece of defense by Coy Dorothy to end the ball game. Are you kidding me? Ridiculous. Full extension snare. That, my friends, is sensational 7-worthy and worth one more look right here as Coy Dorothy saves the day and saves a West Hancock 2-1 victory in 8 innings tonight. Great stuff there. 2-1 was your final, and that would make it a sweep on the day for the West Hancock Titans, as in the earlier game, Paxton Harmon crafts a 2-hitter, and West Hancock gets the sweep, as I mentioned. 10-1 was the final in the first game. Big excitement today in Hancock County between Illini West and Rockridge. Brody Gronwald gave up 2 early runs in this game. Then he got really, really stingy against Rockridge. A couple of strikeouts here to get out of the 4th inning right here. His team is still down 2-1 at that point. But it would be rally time from there forward, and it would start with Nolan Ard, who'd have himself a really good day at the plate. Right here, a double to left field. He would eventually move to third base with just 1 out. That sets up Braxton Squire. This is big right here. Squire grounds into an apparent double play, but look at Brody Gronwald with the major league level slide to break things up. That allows the tying run to score, and we would stay tied a long, long time, I should say. Into the 8th inning, this is Alex Rhodes, the young sophomore, in relief after Brody went 7 full for a no decision. Rhodes pitching very effectively. Bottom of the 9th now, runner at second base, 2 outs. Braxton Squire looks to deliver what could be the walk-off single, but no. Call at the plate says the Chargers don't get it in. So we go 4 more innings, and eventually Braden Bennett hits a walk-off home run much, much later as the Chargers win dramatically. Zach Houston not happy there. He would be happy later as his team gets the 3-2 victory in the first game and then wins the second game by a 5-2 margin. Long day at the ballpark for Illini West, but they do get it done. Nolan Ard, aforementioned earlier, had a home run in that second game to help power the Chargers to victory there. How about Liberty and Western going at it today? End of the first game. This is the 13th and final and game-winning strikeout of that first game for starter Lane Hansel. His team wins the first one 3-1. We take you to the highlights of the second game now. It's Lane Hansel, top of the first with a runner aboard. Great piece of hitting. Hansel, though, astutely tries to take second. Bad throwing error by Western. That allows a run to score. It's 1-0 at that point in favor of the Eagles. Jake Walsh makes up for the defensive error behind him, had a couple of strikeouts in the frame, and he was flat dealing early in this game. So too, however, in opposition, Isaac Murphin, who's going to come up strong with a strikeout here and then help his own cause with the bat with a furiously hit triple, one that nearly left the yard, good enough to score a couple of runs. It was 4-0 early Liberty in this game. They end up winning and winning big in this one as Liberty gets the victory in this one. 15-4, I believe, is how the second game ended up. More highlights now for you. First of all, I want to tell you that score in that first game, as we showed you earlier, 3-1 in favor of the Eagles behind Lane Hansel's outstanding pitching effort, which was a one-hitter. Elsewhere today, Triopia, Brown County going at it. The best news in this game, the return after 2 ACL surgeries in 2 years. Tim Woodward cleared yesterday, back on the field playing shortstop today. He's back and trying to help his team salvage a win right here. Salvage his senior year. Top of the 7th, Triopia up 2-1 in this game. Looking for more. Derek Shoney with his speed going to make that happen. An infield single at that point. Josh Miller going to come up right here and move Mr. Shoney along all the way to third base eventually, as the Trojans are looking for insurance runs in this one. Dirk Winkleman going to try to deliver the big blow in this one. But look at Timmy Woodward, surgically repaired knees and all. That's sensational, seven-worthy. Just great to see him back. We'll talk more about that a little later next week. But Woodward with the great range he played at shortstop like he never left. Wouldn't stop Wyatt Logston, though. This 2-run double extends Triopia's lead in the top of the 7th to 4-1. Dirk Winkleman on to close the door at the end of the frame. He got the pitching victory today. Triopia gets the win in game 1. 4-1 your final there. And Triopia makes it a sweep, winning the second game by the final count of 9-8 as well. Rich Thompson's team enjoying a good day in Mount Sterling. Elsewhere today, Quincy High School's aces, boy, they didn't pitch well enough to beat Moline, and that's a tough, tall task. Andrew Eilers, the loss in the first game right here. Mason Fairley, the loss in the second game, 6-0 to a very good Moline team there. Elsewhere on the day today, Rushville Industry and South Fulton with a split. Beck Harris with an absolute gem in the first game for the victorious Rockets. A 2-hit complete game with 9 strikeouts. The other side of things, South Fulton's Jordan Bear, a very good pitcher, ended up with the victory and 10 strikeouts in the second game. How about Beardstown sweeping Lewistown at home today? 11-1 in the first game behind a one-hitter from Bubba Patterson. In the second game, Greg Gibson with 2 extra base hits today and 2 RBIs to lead the Tigers to victory there. Calhoun and Griggsville a split today in the loss. Griggsville gets an RBI, the only RBI of the day, from Wyatt Bradshaw. In the win, Jordan DeHart with a big 2 RBI day to help power the Tornadoes to victory there. And Jacksonville today having tough struggles at O'Fallon, losing first to Lutheran South 5-4, and then secondly to the host team 4-2. The Crimsons are now 12-8 on the season. We've got softball for you. Q&D cluster, Jacksonville taking on the host Lady Raiders. Jacksonville going to jump out early in this game to a 1-0 lead. Ashlyn Myers driving in Claire Simmons here with the single to make that happen. But Q&D, as Q&D does, responds very quickly at home. Bottom of the first, Mary Beth Hugenberg, the lefty, steps up, and she's going to double to right center field, pulling that ball. 2 runs will score and extend Q&D's lead at that point to 2-1. Then Hannah Brecht, who played very well yesterday, picks up where she left off again. With Mary Beth Hugenberg standing at second base, that's an easy RBI opportunity, and Hannah Brecht is going to easily convert it right here with a double to extend Q&D's lead to 3-1. Bottom of the second, more to come in this one. Kendra Gengenbacher, who's getting the start and playing well with it right now, just misses a home run by about 2 feet here. She'll settle for a double, but that would set up Aubrey Venvolo to drive her home, and she would do exactly that. The single makes it 4-1 Q&D. Q&D just never going to stop in this game, putting up run after run and winning huge in this one. Final count, I believe, ended up in this one to be 22-1. 22-2, I believe, was the final on this one as Q&D gets the big victory today. Elsewhere at the cluster, some other scores to pass along. Payson Seymour puts up a game effort against a really good PND team, but Peoria Notre Dame wins that one 11-4. Rockridge, I should say, too much for Camp Point Central today. Jacksonville also shuts out Camp Point Central, who had a rough day over at the backyard. Q&D with a pair of wins today. Allison Tappy with a game-winning walk-off single in the first game. One more set of softball highlights for you tonight. West Hancock at home against the visiting Pittsfield Lady Sockies. Early on in this one, Alexis Dooley trying to make it a sweep in this doubleheader. Great strikeout right here. Her offense would support her nicely. Hannah Woolbrink with the RBI single right here to score a run. At this point, it's 4-1 in favor of the Titans. Then Allison DeWald, an RBI single for her as well. And you know what? Pittsfield, they had no stopping no answer for stopping West Hancock today, as West Hancock puts 11 runs on the board and gets the victory in this one, 11-1, behind the pitching prowess of Miss Dooley right there. In the first game today, Shelby Kaler had 2 home runs, and then nobody pitched to her again on the rest of the day, as West Hancock would win that one 11-2. A couple of other scores to pass along. It would be Griggsville Perry, a winner over Western by twin 5-4 scores. In the first game, Griggsville Perry rallies back from 3 runs down to win this one 5-4. Mackenzie Vos with a home run in that ball game. Second game, Griggsville gets a nice game from Kenzie Flowers to power the victory as well. And we'll have more overtime for you coming up after this.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
Welcome back to Overtime, everybody. The chilly conditions weren't exactly ideal for track and field this morning, but that didn't deter much of the level of competition at the Louisiana Invitational, which boasted some incredibly enticing sprinting duels for us to chew on. We'll get to those in a second. First of all, let us start you with the ladies today, and we will start you with a high jump where Louisiana's Denise Blackwell clears 4'8" right off the bat. Then, how about Bowling Green's Courtney Cadillac doing the same thing? And Hannah Arney, also of Ellsbury, going to do the exact same thing as well. All three would end up tied for first place in the event on the day. Girls triple jump, Bowling Green would have a stranglehold today. Courtney Cadillac taking second place right here with a jump of 34, 1.5, but she would be overmatched by her own very talented teammate. That's Kylie Conroe, state competitor, and a good one. Jumped 35.8 today, and that was good enough for the victory. 4x800 meter today, Louisiana's team of Tyler Francis, Mason Haddock, Zach Reaver, and Cameron Lindsay would win this in a time of 9:11.81. Also on the girls' side, Bowling Green's team of Amber Berg, Sierra St. Aubin, Chloe Hayes, and Madison St. Aubin, I hope I said that right, in 11:13.52 for the win there. Shot put, third place today on the boys' side, Hadley Roberts of South Shelby, throwing 38.5. Second place, the big fella from Macon, Trey Cothy, going to throw one 41.8 and 3/4 right here, but that was no match for Brandon Holland, your winner out of Louisiana, who would throw today a distance of 44 feet, 11 inches to take first place on his home course today. Second place in the discus today on the girls' side would go to Bowling Green's Jessica Schindler, I should say right here, who throws here with the disc 88 feet, 6 inches, but that's no match for Cassidy Johnson, who just destroyed the competition today. First place in this one, look at this, 112 feet, 3 inches. Good for her. Great stuff from Cassidy Johnson. All right, on to the sprints as promised. Watch lanes 3 and 4 right here. First of all, the girls' hurdles, 100 meters. Bowling Green takes the top 2 spots as Emily Schuckenbrock wins in 16:89. Emily Hansen just behind her for second, as it's a Bowling Green sweep of the hurdles today. On the boys' side, a little more spirited and a little more broken up competition in this one. Lanes 2 and 3, South Shelby's Van Windsor would end up edging out Western specialist Austin Fee for first place. Windsor with a time in this event of 16:57 to grab first place and the victory. So great stuff right there. Good to see those two guys head to head, because I know Austin Fee has been really good on this side of the river. Van Windsor very good on the other side. That's how it ends up. All right, on to the 100-meter sprints. First off, we'll start on the girls' side, and it would be Miss Kylie Conroe again of Bowling Green, winning this in a time of 13:19. Her team ends up on the girls' side taking first place with 176 points ahead of Macon, which had 126, South Shelby, which had 52, and Louisiana, which had 43. Best race of the day, though, boys 100-meter. Great race between Mark Twain's Tyler Steinkamp and Louisiana's outstanding duo of Lakin and Trey Labby. They would finish second and third, but it would be Tyler Steinkamp, the big fella from Mark Twain, will be a running back in the Do or Die Bowl, showing out today, running a time of 11:88 to give his team the victory there. But it would be the Bowling Green boys taking first place with 119. Louisiana finishes second with 101. Other track and field today, we had results as well from the Rob Garcia at Rushville Industry. On the boys' side today, Rushville Industry getting the victory, running away from everybody. Rushville Industry champions individually included Alec President in the 100-meter, Manning Plater in the disc, and Brady Crane in the 300-meter hurdles. Congratulations to Macomb's Jack Cavett, who won both the mile and the 800-meter. On the girls' side, Rushville's Megan Lazon doing what she does, won both the shot and the disc, defending state champion. She's a good one. Macomb's Karen Paisley ended up winning both the mile and the 800-meter. We had soccer today, some scores to pass along for you. First of all, from the Sacred Heart Griffin Tournament, QND destroys Immaculate Conception and then does likewise to East Moline today. Big goal day from Cassidy Foley, who had the hat trick in that one. Quincy High School taking on the number 33 team in the country and losing to Assumption of Davenport 4-1. Hannibal with a good showing at the showdown today over at the Ladies Izzard Classic. They end up winning their semifinal game 2-1 over Republic, but end up losing the championship game to Waynesville. Teresa Sheffer with the only goal for Hannibal in that one. And finally in tennis today, Quincy High School taking ninth in the 16-team Belleville Invite. 2 trophies to go home with. Colin Adams, playing at number 1 singles, was the consolation champion. And Andrew Fauble, the outstanding freshman, playing at number 2 singles, took 4th place there, so congratulations to him. Well, it's time now to introduce the latest highlight nominee for April Honors as the Con Communication Connection of the month. This is the 3rd finalist for this month, and when April is all done, you get a chance to choose the best of the best, and in so choosing, you get a chance simply by voting to be eligible to win a great prize package from Con Communication. This week we go soccer, and the golden goal that helped Holy Trinity beat state-ranked Iowa Mennonite right here. This is Marcus Knight. Turnaround spin move and the slow burn. Marcus Knight. If he's your favorite, you can go on at the end of the month and vote for him over the 2 outstanding sets of home runs we've had earlier. And we'll have more overtime for you coming up after this. And welcome back, everybody. The pitching has been very good for Culver Stockton of late. This is Mendon Unity product Craig Bostert throwing darts today at the expense of Mo Valley. A couple of strikeouts in the inning right here. He went the complete distance today. A 4-hitter, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts in a 4-1 victory. Culver Stockton now 20-19 on the season, 11-9 as they get the sweep of the doubleheader over Mo Valley. Earlier game today, it was the pitching genius of Cyrus Wimberly, who has been red hot as well as he goes the complete distance. Strikes out 7. You gotta love it. The Wildcats didn't have to touch their bullpen today. They beat Mo Valley 4-1. Your final there. Big weekend for Hannibal LaGrange down in St. Louis against Harris Stowe. Essentially, the Trojans need to win the series to end up getting a chance to play in the postseason. They would give themselves a huge boost in that direction, beating Harris Stowe on Harris Stowe's digs today, 5-2 in the first game. Travis Mundell in that game with an RBI. The second game, also a very good win, as Blake Zerlini ends up going 3 for 4 at the dish with 2 runs scored. HLG with a sweep today, back at it on Monday as that series continues. Also, Truman State getting a big boost from Hannibal product Paul Trenhale, who broke out of a bit of a mini slump by going 5 for 7 from the plate today. In the first game, Trenhale could not have been any better. 4 for 4 at the plate, 3 runs scored to help power his team past Fort Hays State 8-7. The second game, the news not as good for Truman State as they get bombed by 10, 15-5. Trenhale, though, with a single in that game and a run scored. Also, Quincy University, big series with Drury. In the late game, Quincy University gets the victory 2-1. Kenny May spurring that victory today with a home run. Good stuff for the Hawks in that game. Game number 1, which was the one we shot, didn't quite turn out as fortuitously, boy, easy for me to say, for the Hawks in this one. Drury already up 3-0, looking to add on, but Clayton Hicks would strand 2 runners in scoring position with a strikeout right here. Top of the 4th, the Panthers threatening again. Hicks induces the ground out to get himself out of the jam. Really pitched well after the shaky start in this one. Bottom of the 5th, still 3-0 Drury. Peter Cunningham going to step in and single to right field. That moves Zach Canese to third base at this point, but the Hawks were unable to capitalize at this time as Drury pitches itself out of trouble in this particular position. Quincy University scored a couple of late runs in this one, but ends up dropping that first game 3-2. The Hawks end up in a split in what turned out to be a very, very important series. Those 2 teams going at it again tomorrow. Softball today, Quincy University getting the split at Umsel, the hottest team in the GLVC. Umsel with the win in the first game, 1-0. Wendy Macias, an absolute pitching gem, but it was wasted today as the Hawks could get her no offensive support. All she gave up in this game was a home run, but that proved to be the difference. The second game, pretty darn exciting as well, as the Lady Hawks rally in the 10th inning. Emma Tops delivering a game-winning single in this one as Quincy University forces the split in 10 innings. 2-1 was your final there. Tough day for Culver Stockton against a very good Mid-American Nazarene team. 6-0 in the first game, and in the second, it was not so pretty as well. 13-4 in favor of Mid-American Nazarene. One other college note to pass along for you. Track and field, Western Illinois' Nathaniel Marshall, the pride of Bushnell Prairie City Avon, ends up with an all-time best hammer throw today in the SIU Gateway Classic of 189 and 11 inches. That is a new PR, as I mentioned. That was good enough today for second place for the Leathernecks. So congratulations to Nathaniel, who Ross Green featured a little earlier this month. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, go to connecttristates.com. Just look it up and you can watch that feature on a really interesting young man.